know. I don't know. This has happened.
Can't hear the music yet, Tommy.
That's because I'm stupid.
Okay, great.
I think you might be able. I think the music is. You know what? I don't freaking know.
Can they hear me but not see me?
I think they can hear you right now because
Okay, great.
you're still here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm. Oh, you know what? Let me check. Let me check about this music thing. Yeah, you know what? It freaking defaulted again. All right.
There I am.
There's the music, right?
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Oh, and the mic is better too.
Oh, good. You know, by the time, you know what? I'm just bringing you on.
All right.
I caught you mid playing with your hair. Like we were just talking
about that. It's so long, man. I don't know where to put it.
All right, I'm getting rid of this music as much as I love it.
You get the weird triangle. Do you do that? What do you do with this hair, man?
I have a little baby version of that.
You know what? But seriously, we were just talking about this. I hate the thing I hate most about this. There's a lot about this era that's challenging, but the looking at yourself constantly when you're doing things. I gotta hide it over here. I'm just gonna hide it over there.
You look great.
It's not. Well, thanks, Tom, but it's not about that. It's just weird. Like, there's no point ever in your life that you stare at yourself the whole time.
Yeah, there's one of a million things we have to get used to right now.
Right.
That we probably will have to just forget, eventually, or let go. It's like useless shit we're learning right now that is probably not, God willing, going to come in handy at any point going forward. I mean, it shows some of it. Some of it's going to come up, but you know what I'm saying.
Now that I'm focusing on your beautiful face, it's working out a lot better.
Hey, you have control over your volume, right?
Yeah, you want more?
Yeah, my wife says turn yourself up just a tiny bit, and we'll be good to go. Just a tiny bit.
Here's a little bit more of me.
Yeah.
More of me.
John, I didn't even do a quick monologue. My name's Tom Bianchi. This is Live Stream of Consciousness. Tonight's guest is my good friend, Mr. John Elliott. I had this whole thing planned out. I was sitting in the shower. I was talking. It's still stupid to freaking do it now. Because we're probably going to cover most anything I was going to say anyway. But and then the music was going to fade in. The production of this thing has been a hot shit mess every single week. Last week, I forgot to turn all the buttons on. So I was basically broadcasting to nothing. And I did it for like 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's a real thing. So I did, Robert Sayers and Blake, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I did his show that he had me on his show, and I'm doing it in the kitchen, and as I'm playing it, I'm thinking, God, this is the best I've ever played this song. I'm like, God, it's in a better key. And I'm literally thinking, I'm so glad to have this document of it. And then when it's over, I get this like choppy message that they can't hear anything. It was just terrible. It was underwater and terrible.
Yeah. It's amazing. Everybody's trying to figure out how to fix it. Like I have this service. I don't need to promote the service. It's not that it's bad or good, but I've been using it. And every single week they throw up another thing. Everything's in beta and they're all doing the same thing. They're all trying to figure it out, before the next person, and everybody's using it now. Whoever bought stock in all this stuff, before COVID is some rich fucking people, or at least richer. Masks and plexiglass.
Man, I was just at REI, and
what's that?
REI is like the outdoor store. Like
yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like what it's like in Boston, but it's like, all the windows are boarded up. So inside, I couldn't figure it out at first. I was like, why is it so like gloom in here? And it's because all the windows are boarded up.
Is that a protest thing, or does COVID go through windows?
Right, exactly. Yeah, it happened before the protest, so I guess it was in anticipation of there being lawlessness or people.
Or even just shut down for a long period of time.
Right, maybe
nobody checking on the store every day. Sure, it makes sense,
Right. There you go.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm going to get, since we're talking about it, I'm going to get to your record because you gave me what I think or thought was an advanced copy. It's being released September 5th or 4th or something like that, right? September 4th.
Yeah, September 4th. Look at that. You see what just happened,
I
everybody?
have
Look at that. Wait, that over there.
yeah. So, on a,
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, that's Labor Day weekend. That's the Friday leading into Labor Day.
mm,
But I put out two of the singles. You got to do singles these days, Tom. It's come
yeah,
full circle. You got to do the digital singles.
50 style.
Yeah, right.
They're still
So,
99 cents, if even.
yeah, right. We were talking about that the other day. Like, how it's still $10 to get into a club, if ostensibly if there's still clubs, or
Yeah,
a single's $1 or whatever.
yeah,
An album's $10, but
yeah.
it's not like the wages have reflected.
No, yeah.
You know,
No,
um,
it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's the whole rent and the gig and the $5 cover for the we'll just try to get some people in here for the $5 cover, and it's fine. When I used to busk, when I used to play in the subway, and this is only 1998 I started, and I would talk to the old school buskers, the ones that busked in the 80s and had CDs and even late 80s. Cassettes and maybe some vinyl, but mostly cassettes. Whatever, they were old school. Those folks, they were older and still going out to busk for fun, but they had bought their house, they had bought their property. They
wow.
they were set. They were like, the session musicians made $100 a night no matter where they were playing, and everybody drank and ate for free, and that's just the way it was. Like
Right.
and people, and then you get into when people had the house that they were the house band, Mondays off, Tuesdays slow, Wednesday, Thursday, or the weekends, and we're the house band at O'Reilly's this week or whatever it is, yeah, and the numbers have stayed almost identical to what they were going back as far as the 70s and
That's
80s.
40 years ago, 50
Yeah,
years. Isn't that interesting?
yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I was thinking that I'll segue into the car thing a little bit, but I was thinking about how what we accept as normal or just the way that things are, we take that for granted each time that it happens, and then these incremental changes just make the new normal different. And
mm,
then over 40 years or 50 years, suddenly it's like, I was thinking that in the context of like what it was like to get on an airplane before 9/11. I
yeah.
was thinking about what it was like. So this car, can you show the image of the car? I
Yes,
rented this
I have.
truck today, and it was so big. Look at this.
I'm sorry, it's covering all screen weirdly. I didn't
That's
get a chance to
okay.
Photoshop
This
it
is a
right for the
Dodge
show.
Ram. It says Bighorn. It's such a phallic
It's the
penis thing,
Dodge
man.
try to ram it in the garage.
Yeah, it is. The whole experience of being in that is like, do the people at Dodge just have like tiny penises or something? Like, what is wrong with those people? And this is the deal,
Very, very large
I
people.
burned like a quarter tank of gas going 4 miles. And so it's like,
Yeah.
so that's an example. They built that garage in the 40s or whenever they built that
Right.
garage, and
Right.
that garage was how you got your cars in there.
Yeah.
And now it's just like boom, 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 boom. And now like that, when they pulled that thing in, I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
So anyway, I
I had a
traded
cat. We just moved not too long ago, and a friend of mine rented us a car, and it was a Cadillac, and probably a similar model, just a Cadillac. And we moved so much, and we had a proper moving truck and actual movers, but we have guitars, and my mom has been sending me China-like stuff for years, just gorgeous crystal and just little
Yeah.
things, and so we used the caddy to move that stuff. And the thing I couldn't believe, I thought to myself, with another day, I could move my entire place in this Cadillac with maybe a couple trips.
Right.
It was the freak, and again, the same thought is, who needs this thing?
That's what I was
Who
thinking.
needs
It's like,
this vehicle?
okay, so if you are actually in construction or you're doing work, I guess in an urban environment, there's people that need that much. The thing also, dude, like I peeled out every time I stepped on the accelerator. I don't know what the engine in there is, but it's like a tank. I mean, like, yeah, I literally like peeled out 4 different, you know. I'm like, I could just basically just take some people out, you know, like this thing.
Yep.
It really stressed me out, man. And like, I don't drive. I mean, since we haven't been doing gigs, like I haven't been renting cars, driving around doing gigs.
You
And
live
I
in San
don't.
Francisco, yes?
Yeah, so
You don't have a car in San
I don't
Fran?
have a car. I haven't had a car for 6 years, and
Beautiful.
it really messes with your perception of what is like a acceptable speed to go, and like it's really weird, man. Like I was behind there, I was like, geez, am I like becoming like a man who can't drive, like be in a car? Is that what's going on here? But once I got in the Nissan, nice and down, I'm down on the ground, and I'm fine.
Yeah. Uh-oh, I got a frozen John.
I'm here.
Is that
No, I'm
Oh,
here.
you're there. Okay. I worry about this whole fucking internet. I worry about this internet thing.
Well, this is the thing that I got it should be good now because I got the Ethernet cable.
Yeah.
I'm plugged in, dude.
Yep. This is I've been, my gigs have been great for the last bunch of years, and I got the concert series and producing, and that, it's been not a long time, but long enough where I've been, you know, hand to mouth, nickel and diamond my way through life, living within my means. But I'm right back to that self-fulfilling artist meme of spending ridiculous amounts of money to do a gig, on the computer for tips.
I know, it's so
I
fun.
bought a $10 app for the camera. See, I got my camera all the way up here, and I had to get this interface thing, and I got monitor speakers, and I got a thing to the and like the
The
end.
kids. Also, the kids have been doing this the whole time. They've been YouTubing
Oh yeah,
and streaming. I don't
TikTok and their
know.
way through life, man.
Yeah, right. I mean, no one knows where this thing is headed, but something that before this that I always said and relied upon was like the traveling performer, whether it's a guy doing Shakespeare monologues or dude with a guitar, is like ancient. Greek, you're talking about Greeks, like that would never go away. And that I just always figured it's like the busking thing too. It's like you can always show up somewhere, do
Ah,
your thing. And this is the first time I've actually thought, man, are we gonna be able to? Is that true? Are we gonna always be able to do that?
it was touching that before COVID. It really seemed like it was. It just with the Facebook, YouTube, like specifically to the busking. It's like we used to. I live in a busking town. I live in a town with a subway and transportation where busking is pretty standard, and you'd go out and you'd play in the square to promote your gig. You'd go out and you play in the subway to promote your gig, make a little bit of money, and now you can just hit record on Facebook and do it without even fucking putting pants on, you know.
I
But
put
it's
pants on for this.
hey,
Makes me feel.
it makes one of us. So I want to ask you. I call this thing live stream of consciousness, and I don't really want to have a plan going in, but I've been listening to your record for a lot this week and all day in preparation, and you're talking about the truck, and you're talking about this stuff, and for anybody who's listening, anybody who's hanging out with us, I'm going to go to chat and check it out. Hey,
There's friends over there.
hey, Jake's over there. People are saying hi. Yeah, cool. All right, that's awesome. We got some friends watching the thing.
Oh, look at that.
The Freedom Tour 2020. Now, this was a plan, and it was ready to go. I watched your video. It's a funding video, so I'm assuming it was funded, or at least close enough, right? I don't know.
People were very generous. I did a couple different rounds of funding. Initially, I just sent letters to people that I had their addresses from the North Star album, people that ordered the North Star album. So I just sent them letters that said, "Hey, this is the thing I'm going to do." The idea was to bike across the country, basically bike the Lewis and Clark Trail, and there's 3,500 miles, and play shows along the way. And then the impetus for it was just this idea that there's this crazy division in the country right now, and I live in my little weird bubble out here, and I wanted to go interact with people that weren't in that bubble. And
And you said the Lewis and Clark Trail. Did I hit? Or am I remembering that right?
Lewis and Clark Trail.
You mentioned it's like mostly red states.
Yeah, it is all. It's. I mean, I know that there's more to states than red and blue, but as far as 2016 is concerned, it goes through all states that voted red until you get way out here, like Missouri. It starts in St. Louis, Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho.
Jesus.
And it was going to be great, man. I made the best
on your
merch.
Bicycle. On your bicycle.
On the bike.
I didn't even say that to start.
Right.
On a fucking ding ding on a fucking bike. I don't mean to do this, but it's on a fucking bike, which is psycho. See, I ride a fucking motorcycle, and I think people who ride cyclists, I think they're fucking crazy.
Like, do you really?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, at least, listen, I mean, I could do 50, 70 miles an hour, 80, whatever. I might die instantly. But if I look at my rearview mirror, if there's some fuck shit behind me, I throttle down, I'm gone. I'm out of the way.
Interesting.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can avoid stuff so easy, whereas like it's like it must, I hats off. I ride a little city bike from time to time. You just you put your card in, and
that's great. Yeah, I love that. I've done that when I've been in Boston before. It's great that they have that.
It's awesome, but like to do that, to do what you're doing and cross the country. I mean, I think that's noble and brave, and you got to be. Well, I mean, to do any of this shit, you got to be half nuts. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it. It's just I can't do it this year.
Right.
And I made the best. It's
amazing.
I've made merch for 2 decades, Tom, and this is the best merch I've ever made.
It really is. I've been studying it always.
In 2020 are the bike wheels, and this guy, my friend Mike in Santa Cruz, made this amazing. I made the hats. I got hats.
Yeah, it is. Well, in some weird world, it's going to be timeless.
That's kind of. But I'm like, dude, wait till 2025. These hats are going to be amazing.
Yeah, when people start coming back out, and God willing, there's a cure for this thing, and we start living our lives, it's going to be great. But in the meantime, I mean, to take on that, and I guess it must have been planned. It seemed like it was planned. It seemed like you were fucking just ready to go.
Dude. It was booked, and I had gigs. Like I had gigs in all these really rural, small towns along the way. It's going to be rad. I mean, the Adventure Cycling Association is this American biking association, and they have like routes that they plan based on whether they're good for supposedly good for bikes and not on main routes with cars. Then this is a historical trail that roughly follows what Lewis and Clark did.
Right.
I was really, really, really excited about it, and it got really. I didn't even understand in March that I wasn't going to be doing it.
No. I remember saying, like, I work out of the Burn, a club that you've been to many times, Irish pub. And I remember someone asked me, is the Burn gonna close? And I said, I imagine the Burn will close when the gas stations close. That's literally what I was saying.
Wow.
In other words, like the Burn will close when it will be open through the apocalypse and shit. And like, I was obviously absolutely wrong. I didn't have my brain wrapped around it.
How did it go down for you guys? Was it like one day management sent an email or something? Or
it kind of happened here, and I would even say in the Northeast. I mean, considering New York is our template, I mean, it happened kind of like, that's it.
What do you mean New York's your template? Oh, you guys just follow what they do?
I mean, Boston is his own city and all, Philadelphia, East Coast, whatever. But New York is fucking New York,
Right.
It's maybe too cocky, but now you understand. I'm quoting your own song there without getting any of the lyrics right. But I had a
That's
fucking
pretty
stroke.
close.
So I could play that card.
Oh my God, Tom.
Yeah, but so yes, New
Can
York.
I just ask you for a second? Like, have you experienced? I'm experiencing zero cognitive effects from that in talking to you right now.
No, that's nice of you to say.
Do you feel something? Do you feel like a cognitive difference?
I'm like rolling through my head to try to think of a joke, but nothing's coming
it's not
to
a
my head.
joke.
So I'm fucked. I don't know, John. I honestly, I'm answering that question as honest as I can. I don't know. I've been sober for more than a year. I haven't had a drink since I woke up from the coma. If anybody who doesn't know me, I had a stroke in March of last year. I woke up
Oh my
from the
God,
coma
Tom! Congratulations,
April
man.
1st.
That's not easy.
Well, actually, dude, it's been easy as fuck because all you have to do is, have come out of a coma and not know you ever went in and know that you almost fucking died, and then you
Right.
lived your life for 7 days in an ICU with cables coming out of every fucking,
Right.
I had a fucking vein. I had a IV in here. Right? I had one here and one here. What do you call it? A trigger warning for anybody who doesn't like this shit. I had a vein going in here, right? I guess it was like for the most essential drugs to get pumped right into the vena cava or something, just aorta, going right through the heart, so it immediately gets pumped into the body. I didn't even know it was there for 3 days.
Wow, dude.
I'm like 3 days in, I'm like, this is fucking itchy. What's going on here? And I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I mean, it was. I don't mean to make it's so traumatic, and I don't mean it traumatic in the way that like when you lose somebody, but it was so traumatic that it's not. I haven't. It's and this is my experience. I don't mean to bring up or down anything else, but it's not like an AA thing. It's like I'm like, I'm not fucking drinking. Why would I fucking do that? Are you kidding me? I'm like, and then around March, April, I was thinking, well, it's been a year. Maybe I'll have a pint, but because also like half the time I was on blood thinners until like September of last year. So I'm not drinking on blood thinners and anti-seizure meds because I had a massive fucking seizure. But, and then I got off of that shit. Well, I'm just going to stay sober through the winter. And then I was, maybe this spring I'll have a pint, and the conscious decisions are like, I don't ever want to be hungover again. I'm 50 years old. I was living hungover every single day. I'm a drunk, an alcoholic, functioning alcoholic, call it whatever you want. The bottom line is physically, I wasn't in any shape to do anything. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, I'm babbling. This is your show. I want to talk about you, but
this is a huge topic. I mean, I have been sober. I was never a drinker in the way that other musicians and other people drink.
Except when you'd come to Boston, because Boston just wrecks people.
That's actually true.
I know.
We would drink a little in Boston.
Yeah,
but even then, what people imagine are drinking. I was such a lightweight, and because of like dealing with depression and some of that mental stuff that I deal with, I decided to quit drinking like 5 years ago. I think it was January of 2015. It was the beginning of 2015, and that was a huge decision, man.
Yeah,
like that made a huge difference in my mood. And then the next move was to stop smoking weed, which was, I really enjoyed that. That was a creative, fun thing to do. And I stopped doing that 2 or 2.5 years ago now. And that was another step of having, the way that I think about it, I'd say I agree with you 100% what you said. Is like, it's not like you're preaching at anybody or saying this is
it's my experience.
Other people should do it. It's like, it's the choice that you made.
When I hear about somebody going through like serious trouble with alcoholism, falling off the wagon, ODing, I kind of almost I want to take them and like put them through what I went through, because as much as it may be you know, as much as falling down and breaking your arm may suck for somebody or whatever it is, or financially going into ruin. It's like it was so, what I went through was so fucking, I mean, it is wild. I had hallucinations,
Yeah,
and
dude. Oh
I
my
was
God.
off. I was off the planet. I was off the planet for 10 days in a coma, and then I was off the planet awake for another 7 or 8 days. And like I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep for 7 or 8 days. You know, but I want to wrap up because you asked me if I have any effects. It's hard to tell if I'm 50 years old and like, you know, you slip just a tiny bit, like
Right.
a word takes a second to come out. You know, I have lived pretty hard, or it is an effect of the stroke, because I've been drunk or hungover for years. So I don't know if I've been slipping all along. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like, I can't get a word to come to the surface, or something
That
stutters, or
happens. Dude,
and then my
I
wife,
think that's
my
getting
18-year-old
older.
son does it, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
fucking fine,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But I don't know. And then weird things. It's humid, and you know, and all of a sudden I feel a little dizzy, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm never gonna be the same, and all kinds of shit. You know, it's. I tell you what, though, even if I lost anything, or you know, music. I mean, everything was slow to come back. I had to practice all. You know, a lot of my chops are back. It's my chops as far as musicianship are back to like. It's like, okay, I suck because I don't practice, not because I had a stroke. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm finally back to
Yeah,
that
I know what you're
level.
saying.
I think I'm finally back to that level where if it's like, oh, I haven't played in a week, that's why I suck today. You know?
Wow, did you
But
find yourself having to like
oh,
think of
absolutely.
chords? Wow.
No rethinking. My hand was like a rubber band for a long time.
Oh my
It
God,
didn't
Tom.
work. You know, I got home. I had an acoustic bass in the rehab hospital. I have to go this way, and this hand is what I want. So this, my right hand, this was like flopping around, and I was kind of playing, and it was coming back, and then I got home, and I picked up a mandolin off my wall and started to strum it. This motion gone. It was like,
Wow.
huh? And then I
Wow.
went to whip an egg for breakfast. I went to make my kids scrambled eggs, and that motion was gone. It all came back.
Yeah.
It's like
Wow.
reconnecting neural pathways.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
It's the craziest thing. This muscle right here, right? I had these balls I had these fucking balls.
These balls.
I had these balls, you know. And I would keep them in my hand because my hand was the first thing to go, like lose strength. I would have a pen in my hand when I had the stroke, and I just kept dropping the pen. Nothing I could look at the pen, and it would just fucking fall out of my hand. So for a security blanket, I had my hands on the fucking balls. They would go like ding-a-ling-a-ling. But one day I started turning them around my hand the other way, and like this muscle, it was like flat. And it popped on, and I watched it pop on. I was like, oh, it was craziest thing. The neurology of it is I read stuff when I can about it, and it's the neurology of it all is fascinating. You're remapping neural pathways. I'm lucky enough that they're remappable. I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
So I
right.
really don't want to look any of these gifts. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's why I asked, because like my grandfather had a stroke. I'm sure there's different strokes too.
There's a lot of them,
but he had one, and the neural pathways did not come back.
Was he older?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. So I have a defect. So if I had the stroke, 10 years from now, it would be worse. If I had it 20 years from now, it would be worse. That's what they all say.
Just to finish that bit about drinking, it's like, it's not doing you any favors necessarily.
Nah.
So if you have a handicap of any kind, it's one possible variable to deal with. Like I mean, I remember being 20, and it's like you're just stronger. Your mind is stronger. Your body is stronger.
Dude,
you recover a lot faster from anything.
I did. There's so much shit's been in my system.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm lucky.
I'm glad that scared me, man. I'm glad you, isn't it funny though, how like the positive things that come out of something like that too?
You're one of the first persons I called last year when I was just kind of bumming around, and uh, just retouch it. All of a sudden, I felt the need to call people that have been in and out of my life over the years, and I gave you a buzz, and just to say, hey, I do that now. Like I call random cousins that I haven't seen in 10
Oh,
years,
that's
and
cool.
but yeah, I tell you, I want to shut up about me. Like you have been an inspiring artist and musician in person to me for years. When you came through Boston, you had a little Mac. I think it was a G4. Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
I didn't.
No,
I was.
I had a MacBook, whatever, the 2007 MacBook, that
Hmm,
white one.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
were making a record. You were working on Rain of Rose's record,
Hmm.
and we were at Hugh McGowan's apartment, and you needed some bass tracks, and I came by, and we were just laying down the bass tracks. And we had a mic on this upright bass, and like a dog barked, and I had never. I had done such little recording. I was always in a studio and it has to be pristine. And oh no, and this mic has to be this way in the angle, and which is it's legit. But at the same time, you were just like, I was like, oh, we got to retake that. A dog barked, and you're like, no, man, there'll be a dog. There'll be a dog on the record, man. That's the
I mean,
part. That's the
it's
part where
so
the dog is it.
it's so funny. Like I love I love that story because I've heard you tell that story before, and I love that story. I can judge it after the fact and be like, maybe retake it without the dog, dude. But like, but like, no, because it's. I guess you're just a product of what your experiences are. You know what I mean? You're just a product of. So I used to record albums in the downtown LA rehearsal space next to two thrash metal bands that were playing, like practicing at the same time that we were tracking drums. But if they're close enough to the drums, it just doesn't matter. And it was like it wasn't like we did that as an artistic choice. It was just that we did that because that's what we had to do, and it
Exactly.
worked out fine. Like, could it have been? Could it have? I really love. I mean, I think about this a lot because could it have been better? Yeah. Could it have been like thicker and warmer? Yes.
Sonically,
Yes.
could it have been more perfect?
Yeah, thousands of dollars better. Yeah, it could have been.
But it's out there. One of the other big influences in my life is a kid named Michael Bergman, and he was always just like, you got to put it out there, man. Just fucking do it, put it out there, and move on. Do it, put it out there, and move on. It's like it's all right to be a perfectionist, and the perfectionist in you is the same guy who chopped garlic in my kitchen while you were on tour. I've never seen garlic so meticulously chopped in all my life. It was a piece of garlic this big. It was cut into like 1,000 perfect cubes, and every time it wouldn't fall apart. And then like you just flick it, and the garlic went like almost like confetti.
Oh
Like,
man, Tom, this is making me so like nostalgic. I miss my friends so much. I mean, like one of the beautiful things about traveling around a bunch is that you have friends everywhere, you know? But that's one of the challenging things too, because your friends are not where you live; they're everywhere.
yeah,
Like I remember, I know the moment you're talking about. That was a beautiful night, you know.
yeah,
Like
a lot of fun.
we
But
got the question there. Wait, where's the question, Jake?
that's Jake giving me a hard time about my record. Actually, I'll answer him. It is. I actually got some studio monitors and my studio set back up, and I have a record that we recorded live. I see. I say this about to you, but then I'm an asshole because I have a lot of recordings I haven't put out there, and the band is fucking really up my ass about it, as they should be. We did a live session that came out great a long time ago, and it hasn't been released yet. I got to release it.
Dude, it's hard. I mean, at the same time that you can have the ethos of put out a bunch of stuff, it's hard to call things finished. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
a really weird process of deciding that something's done.
I want to stay on you. For me, it's like I've been working with the concert series has been my mainstay. That's why all my focus goes there, and my music is almost secondary to me sometimes, other than the fact that I love to play every Thursday night. But like, and you put this music out there. You have so many titles right now, and you have another brand new one coming out. I just want to get back to like I picked up recording and producing because you were just like, no, man, just fucking do it and put it out there. And then I listened to, which was probably your second or third record at the time. Third record? Is it
Which one? Before We Fall?
Before We Fall?
Yeah, that was. I guess you'd call that the third. I mean, yeah, the third.
going back with an engineer's ears, I've heard you talk about it, and it's like, oh, I didn't know how to do drums back then, and all kinds of things about the engineering. But that's one of the best fucking records there is. It's just because it's straight up honest. It's a great record,
Thanks,
and
man.
it's are the drums not produced in a studio fucking perfect environment with every single thing mic'd, and maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know, but it's like it's the honesty. And when I say honesty, that's not code for it doesn't sound good, because sometimes, or it's lo-fi or something. It's just you've really been an inspirational performer for years, because you got the production meticulous head of a Radiohead, but you've got the humor of a Randy Newman or a Rufus Wainwright. I mean, you're a beast.
Thank you, but I can't just sit here in the live stream and take these
compliments. All right,
I feel uncomfortable. But what I will say about that is, well, all you can do is the best that you can do, and all you can do is the best that you can do at any given time. And I don't know why. I mean, I really don't know, Tom, like why I made that decision to keep putting things out, and now I just still do. And I can go into like deep darknesses where I'm like, I should have been more choosy about what I put out there or whatever. But ultimately, you know what? It's a mutual friend. I'll tell you, ultimately, you remember David Glazer?
Of course. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So David Glazer is a friend of ours. He passed away like a year ago.
Bless him.
And when I heard that he died, the first thing I did is I went to Spotify and I listened to Cars and Lovers.
Yep. Same here. Right back at you.
So there you go. It's like, just put it out there, man.
Yeah.
Because, and you're right. I mean, you liking Before We Fall and you being inspired by it is proof of that ethos, as far as it is for me, for my little thing, because it made a difference. I'm glad I put it out there if that inspired you. The manager guy in LA that told me to stop putting out so many albums, he didn't like it. He didn't like that I was doing that. But
yeah,
whatever. Sure.
Almost every documentary you watch of all your favorite bands, they had one manager guy that were all like, that guy was a fucking idiot, what an asshole. Yeah, but
Janae says, I miss David too, Janae, man. That guy.
Yeah, he's
Cars and Lovers is, talk about an album, dude. That album is crazy.
It's a good one.
It fucking rocks, dude.
Good one. Yeah. It's a wonderful snapshot of what the songs he wrote and what he could do.
Well, in the production, like, what's that song toward the end? There's a hole in the night. It's like a Pink Floyd song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just looking over at the thanks, Jake. Jake says the Backyards album. Yeah, so that's another one. It's like, I'm glad I put that out there, man. I can be real mean to myself. And
no, I'm grateful for all of it. I mean, I sent my kid, I hope it's okay, I sent my kid the link to your new record, and
oh, sweet.
And he's in now. He's gone from any sort of like, Beatles and shit that he grew up on because of me to rap and hip hop. But he also is a great ear for music, and he listened to it. He's like, yeah, I can't wait to listen to this more, because he grew up on Before We Fall.
Yeah. Well, so right away I started to feel nervous, because it's like, oh, he likes Before We Fall. Like, will he not like this one? Because I've been someone that, as a music fan, like, Bruce does that all the time. Bruce puts out an amazing album, and then he puts out Working on a Dream, and you're like, what are you talking about, Bruce? Like it's the Jeff Tweedy had a great quote that he said. He says,
"You're a big Bruce fan, there, John."
Unreal, dude.
Is that a Indians hat or a Cubs hat? What is that? It's an Indians hat.
That's a Cincinnati Reds hat, which
Reds
I'm wearing.
Hat?
I'm wearing that because my friend Gotham and I took the bus from Chicago to Memphis, the Greyhound bus, to see Bruce. And
really?
Then, yeah, 1999 or
how old
2000. I was 21, probably.
Oh man, little baby John.
Yeah, and Gotham was from Cincinnati, and we had to take the midnight bus back, like after the gig, And because Bruce plays, it was such a classic like Bruce story because it's like he plays so long that we were going to miss the bus, but we wanted to watch the whole gig. So we watched the whole thing, and then we had to run to the Greyhound bus station through the rain in Memphis to get. I mean, it's like so real. It's so like.
It's when you're 21, you could run and make the bus.
Wait, I want to say this. So
probably-
Jeff Tweedy has this quote that he says he loves putting out new albums because people like the old one. I just love that.
That's of course you do.
Yeah.
And you dropped some lyrics on this new record, and to further this point, the records you put out are relevant. They're always relevant.
I hope so. They try to be.
This new one is, if you haven't heard it yet, folks living in the world out there, wait till you hear this fucking record. Especially the folks that Janae and Jake, our friends and family who know John's stuff and love it, man. Wait till you hear this new record. It's ridiculous. I took a bunch of notes on my phone today so I could quote specific passages. And then before I printed it out or put it anywhere, my phone is the camera right now, so I can't fucking. And that's the world we live in, which funny. You address kind of like in the rec. There's so many references to what today's, the information age, what today's, social media and where we're at and the way people look at everything from religion to kids and, being blasé about kids in cages, and the empathy that you draw on. Like, I think it's Sanctuary, the song Sanctuary. I had this all written down. And you say, there's no way I could, I had it all written down. There's no way I could relate to this person. There's no way I could have this person's point of view. There's nothing that can give me this empathy.
Yeah.
Which is empathy in itself.
That one, it's a tricky one, man. It's like, how do you write from a position of privilege about what's going on? And I tried to. I mean, that's honestly what I felt and what I wanted to express the day that I wrote that. But, oh man, yeah, it's crazy. It's hard. It's really hard. I mean, it's really hard because part of me just wants to like sit back and listen. Part of me wants to just be like, all right, cool, and like read book. I've been reading these. I read this amazing book called Evicted. Do you know that book?
No.
It's a couple years old, I guess, and it made the rounds a while ago. But oh my gosh, it's set in Milwaukee, and it just follows people that are in low-income housing and just this crisis of eviction, which is gonna be with us again here any moment.
Oh, yeah.
But so part of me wants to just listen and learn, but also the role of being the like observer and churning. And that's just what I tend to be inclined to do, is eventually at some point like take it all in and then like blurt something out. And that's just what comes naturally to me. So I want to do that.
That was kind of the goal of the 2020 Freedom Tour, was to go town to town and hear the stories.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Half of me is like, are you doing this 2021? Because I'll start working out now so I can follow.
For sure. I'm definitely going to do it.
I'll like fucking pedal behind you with the camera and document the whole damn thing, because I would love to be the fly on the wall for those shows, before them, during them, after them, like how people react to these songs, but then react either before or after to you just listening to their stories, rather than just getting some blowhard who's trying to jam their point of view down their throat.
Right.
Because that's a lot on your record too. That's you're not a person saying this is how it is, and I can't believe you're not doing this, and I can't believe you are doing this, and in my way or the highway. That's not you. That you're somebody who's staying, wants to have the conversation and addressing that we are so divided.
Man, thank you for saying. I mean, I hope so. It's really tricky because you don't want to be.
That's what the album says. I'm not saying
Good.
what you said. I'm saying what the album said.
That's great because I mean I don't know. It's
My
I
point of
made
view.
it. Like I don't know. I don't know how people are going to receive it, but I hope that they don't receive it that I'm preaching at them because I'm really not. You know,
Mm,
like I'm trying to express my experience of it of these last couple of years basically
mm.
and how they yeah.
Uh, you,
Also, by the way, I should say, like, it's not that conscious. It's not like I sat down to be like, okay, I'm going to now write about, it's really not like that. Like that Sanctuary song, the place that I was recording the album was my friend's art center called The Sanctuary.
mm.
And I was like having this beautiful morning. Everybody was so nice, and it was this like wonderful morning and we all had the communal breakfast and I had the coffee and I'm sitting there and then I go to my phone and it's like stories of the kids in cages and the separated families and I'm like it did not compute. Like why am I have a bed. They gave me a bed to sleep in. Why am I having this experience on the planet and hundreds and thousands of millions of people are having the experience they're having?
You have a bed and you were just traveling. You're just cruising. You're not even like you have another bed at home.
Right, right. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I
It's
mean,
yeah. The man, I
it's
wish.
really hard to make sense of it, man, and it's really hard to know what role any one person can play in trying to bring about some semblance of what are we even wanting? Justice,
Yeah,
equality.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's now. Right now, obviously, what's up there in our consciousness and uh, this sphere, everything coming right at us is everything with the Black Lives Matters movements, and it's like you can't. My wife and I watched Mississippi Burning last night. Gene
Oh
Hackman,
wow,
Willem Dafoe, 1989, 1989 about 1964, and
whoa,
you could really just change. You don't even have to change a word or two, and it's it it's why like the late night shows aren't funny anymore because they
yeah,
go to a Trump rally and everything that was depicted in this movie from 19 based in 1964 is exactly what you hear at these comedy shows going to Trump rallies today.
wow, wow.
It's really strange, and but I
My mom said that, Tom. My mom said that she grew up in Cincinnati and she would look out the bus and see the whatever civil unrest she saw in Cincinnati at the time. And she says some of the stuff you're seeing on TV tonight, it could be pictures that she saw out of the bus window when she was a little girl.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that means, what does that mean? What does that mean?
It means from you could argue that there's been a lot of progress, and you can argue that there's been no progress.
Right. Well,
And the
yeah,
fact that
oh
there's an
my God.
argument is the disgusting part of the whole thing.
Or just the like, I don't know if even I would call it disgusting. I just call it like really troubling and complex. Um, my buddy, one of my oldest friends, has uh, gravitated toward a belief system over the years that is pretty. Uh, he's just listening to a lot of more conservative voices,
Sure.
and he's shared some videos with me, and it's like this guy Shelby Steele is a very well spoken older black man who he would straight up he straight up tells you that he was there for segregation. He knows what segregation is, and this is not segregation. And
Ah,
it's like it's to your point that you could say we've made some progress or we've made none. It's like, well, that's true. I mean, there's not you can't you can't. There's not separate swimming pools, you know.
Uh-huh.
So that's a. I just think I'm trying to like be receptive to that point of view and hear it, and
Uh-huh.
at the same time, that just seems incongruous with the data of what people are experiencing today and the average wealth of a family.
Uh-huh.
It just, I don't know. I think maybe we try too much to understand. It's really tricky, man.
That's
It's
an
tricky.
interesting statement right there, that
I
we're
know.
trying to
I know.
understand this thing, and
I
it's
know.
on one level it's so deep and complex, but on the other level it's like that's all it is. Like,
I know. It's like, dude.
again, what's the song? And again, I had all this written down. Don't believe it, Texan who's not from Texas. Which song is that?
Yeah, Texans not from Texas.
Yeah, Texans not from Texas. Fuck. I love the humor in your stuff. It's brilliant. But in that, and again, I know I'm not quoting the exact lyric. Like I said, I had that all written down. But you mentioned like poverty is the real enemy, or
Oh yeah,
poverty.
poverty is poisonous and ancient.
Yeah, uh,
Poverty is evil in disguise.
yeah, and that's what you're talking
It's
about.
better when you sing it.
And whether you're poor, which is some folks are living in poverty, or that fear of having what they have taken away from them, which is
Yeah. Yeah, that's fear. That is I said that to yeah. What is the source of that fear? What are you afraid of? Like
mm,
I don't understand that. I don't
mm,
feel like there this term zero sum game. Have you heard that term? The
sure,
zero sum game? I've heard a lot of people explain to me what they think zero sum game is, and I'm pretty sure that no one agrees. I think zero sum game is the same as what do they always say in a relationship when someone codependent. That's
mm,
another one. No one ask 7 people and you'll get 7 definitions of codependency, but everyone thinks that yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, I just don't think that everybody. I think it can be better for everyone. I don't think that like someone has to lose in order for someone to win.
I I love the way you think, man. You're an inspiration.
Well, I'm just
You know,
I'm just a fella in front of a iMac.
yeah, but you're going camping this weekend. Is that right or what?
Yeah, dude. I haven't been outside of this apartment. This is a record. I mean, I've slept in the same bed
Right.
every night since March. When did I get back from San Diego?
Mm.
February 20th.
My first podcast or second podcast was with Victoria Vox, who is also, I don't know
Oh
if you know,
yeah,
ukulele player, singer songwriters, but she's also a hardcore touring human
she
being.
lives out here now.
She lives south of you. She lives south of LA.
Yeah,
But yeah, her and her husband live down, and she's same thing. Same thing. She's
yeah.
been with her spouse more than ever. As you know, it's
Cooking.
yeah, cooking. And I had this all again, my whole thing, tech, and I'm trying to do this, and then I just fucking shit the bed and everything. It's
Tom, you're
terrible.
doing a great job.
It's nice of you to say.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I wanted to go live I wanted to get out of the way, which we still haven't, because we've had email and quick correspondences all week, but we kept going, save it for the podcast. Save
Yeah.
it for the podcast. I wanted to ask, and how the fuck you doing? How are you?
Great question. Great question.
How you been handling all this? What you
Way
been
better
up?
than that social justice stuff. It's hard, dude. It's hard. That stuff is hard, man.
It's all about the balance,
I have been mostly doing really well, honestly. I'm very grateful to have a safe place to be
Mm.
and to have enough money for groceries and rent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been challenging to have to rethink how I spend my time. And I really do love the pattern and the experience of like going around and playing my songs for people.
Yes.
And I love the energy exchange of that and my friends. And it's like the weight of not doing that cyclically occurs to me, and I'll just have a real bad week, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then I'll just be like, this is what we're doing right now. We're not doing that right now. It's not happening. This is what's happening. It's a once in a century global pandemic.
Right.
These things happen. I mean, it's a crazy string of years here. You know, it's like 9/11, Iraq War, Great Recession, global pandemic. It's been a real stretch. But so I feel very, very, very grateful and fortunate to be able to just kind of to have that be the nature of my struggle. You know,
keep it into light details and stuff. I know you ride. Has that been your escape?
Oh, dude, the bike has been the whole deal, man.
That first few months with no traffic.
Oh, it's the only thing when I'm freaking out. I just put on my little outfit and I go out there and I get on the bike, and I'll just ride until I feel better.
Like I said, when I was at home a lot last year and I was just basically recovering my balance and skills, you were one of the first phone calls I made. And you were like, I'm a bike guy now.
I mean, seriously, I really am.
I don't know how I feel about it because I put on the because you just said I put on the outfit. I'm a bike guy. And
I really am.
I don't even know if I like other bike guys.
I don't like them. I don't like them. And I also I want to be like encouraging of people like being on a bike. It's like you're an 8th grader again. It's so fun and it feels so good and the breeze is in your face. I mean, I'm just telling you, dude, I just got this car. I just had experience of getting groceries and running errands with a car. It is so much worse than getting errands and getting groceries with a bike. I can't, it's like, yeah. Show the picture. Do you have the picture of me on the bike that you said you had?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
This is the ridiculous outfit. There you go.
I love it, man.
This is gonna be me.
I picked this shot because you look so badass. You're like, I'm merging, motherfucker, whether you like it or not. That's what that picture said.
I got the tent on the back. I can't point on the actual picture.
You got a guitar strapped to the side of that thing. At least you did in one.
I would have had the guitar. Yeah, I had the guitar for those pictures.
Is this the setup? You were ready to go cross country?
Yeah, that's it. Because I got two. If you zoom out, I got the rack on the front. So the tent's in one of those, clothes in the other one, and then the back more clothes and stuff in the left, and then like a. It looks like I always play with the setup, but it looks like I had my camping mat in the back there. Anyway, yeah, dude, I just love it. I used to get around all the time with my bike when I was a kid. And my bike, my like nice 10-speed bike got stolen the first day of college. And I just didn't get another one. And then it just never occurred to me that it was an actual vehicle. You know, it like felt like it was a kid's thing. And then
was San Fran the impetus for the bike just to get around?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was like I was here for a year, and I have this story that I love to tell about my friend Kelly. When I first moved up here, she's like, "You have to get a bike. The bike is the way to get around." No, Lombard Street. That's a good question. Lombard Street is so San Francisco is interesting because it's so hilly, but there's this bike coalition here that is this amazingly powerful and wonderful organization, and they have worked a lot with the city to put the routes through the city. So there's specific routes that avoid the hills as best as they can. You know, you're still going up and down a lot, but it won't send you down Lombard Street. Oh, that's awesome, Megan. You were inspired to do it because of quarantine. That's cool, man. Yeah, there's a bike boom in the United States. You couldn't buy a bike.
You sent me a bunch of links to bikes and they were all gone within less than 24 hours.
Are you kidding? Seriously?
Yeah, I love that Cruiser. The one that was more expensive, like I can't
thing was sweet.
Right now. I have to do this to see that. The one that's more expensive was like this.
Yeah,
like this. I like this view. This is a cool view. I like your plate. I like your bookshelves back there, man.
And
That's
I got the
cool.
bookshelf. Do you see the tapes? This is my cassette tapes.
Oh, look at that!
Pretty
Wow,
sweet.
those are in a box in my basement. You put
Dude,
it.
the bike thing, like when we met, I did not ride a bike.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
provided so much joy to my life. It's just crazy.
Did you did you go out in March and April? What's the weather like there? Is it too rainy or shitty or like?
It's rain is what you deal with, but actually, sadly, we're dealing with more drought conditions again. So we've had not a lot of rain this year, really at all. It's
So then you
really,
must. Was there like no traffic and shit? March, April? Did you eat
oh,
that up or
dude,
what?
it was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's actually though, yes, there was a lot less traffic, but because there was a lot less traffic, the traffic that was there was speeding.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah, I concur with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
people were fucking psycho for those 2 months.
People were crazy.
The motorcycle was a solace for me in March and April because I could just get out of the house and disappear. And
Oh, I want to get back to that. I feel like that, for some reason to me, motorcycle seems much more dangerous because you can go so fast.
well, yes, by that definition, yes.
I mean, obviously, this truck that I got could run me over on the bike and I would be dead.
That's.
No
I
problem.
think I'm talking about city riding.
Well, they do pretty good with the lane. I mean, dude, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It is dangerous. You have to have your wits about you. But also, there's a sense, to me anyway, that like you're more in the world and aware of what's going on a bike than you
Absolutely.
are in a car.
Mhm.
Because you can hear and see, and you're just out there. When you're
Mhm.
just behind that shield and you just don't know
Mhm.
what's going on.
Yeah, and I just always you just kind of whether I'm on the bicycle or the motorcycle, I just kind of ride like everybody's out to hit me, and I'm just going to make sure I don't
Yes,
get
you
fucking
have to, yeah.
every
But you know,
door.
it's really like, I mean, I won't get too into it, but the paradigm shift of seeing a city or seeing an area, not, yeah, Megan, they do. They hate cyclists, and cyclists hate the drivers. And it's like, there's a way to build a city so that drivers can get where they need to go and cyclists can get where they need to go, and they don't have to intermingle.
Boston's
I mean,
catching up.
yeah, but you know, you go to like the Netherlands or Denmark, and it's just dialed, dude.
My dad's watching.
Is that you? That's
He's
right.
got the bike on the thing upstairs so he can do his cardio and his.
Oh, awesome! That's great. That's great. Hey, actually, I'd be curious to know So Tom, your dad's also Tom.
Yeah.
So Tom, how far do you go? Like, is it a time thing? Are you like on it for an hour, or do you set like a goal of miles or something? Like, how does that work on the station?
My father, I'm going to guess that he's going to say his time. He probably does it for 20 minutes and gets off. Because I think he just has his old, like a mountain bike on the thing. So I don't know if there's a way to even tell how many miles. It's not like a professional. Him and I are in the same boat. We talk all the time. Yeah, he answered actually. Time. We're in the same boat. We both enjoy going. I have since I got out of the hall. I've always liked going to the gym. Years ago, I used to go to the gym.
Yeah, you said this. So that's big.
And and part of the reason I got sick, if you want to call it that, is because I stopped going to the gym. I stopped taking care of myself in that way. I put on a lot of weight. My blood pressure was probably up and all that bullshit. But now with COVID, I ain't going to no gyms. I don't know if I'm necessarily high risk, John. I feel in better health than I have in 10 years, probably at least. And even that's because I was only 10 years younger, not because I was in better shape. I'm probably, in the shape I was in maybe 15 years ago, except I was, in younger and better shape because I was younger. But at the same time, I had a pneumonia last year. My lungs were shut down. I was on a ventilator in March of last year. So I could be.
I didn't know that. You were.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn, Tom.
Yeah, John, you're going to love this, man. Yeah, I'm assuming you're a guy who's like, put the fucking mask on. I'm going to take a crazy guess.
So, I don't understand why
but also, we're probably similar in that the last thing we want to do is be going, put your mask on in public. Like, I don't want to be a whiny. I mean, I want to be like, what are you fucking stupid? but I don't want to actually say that and yell at somebody. What did you say? Never, your lyric, again, I'm coming back to your record, never believe an angry man or an angry man's
Oh
never tell him the
yeah.
truth. What is that lyric?
Um,
Uh, it's
an angry
brilliant.
man should never be believed.
Your record's brilliant, man. Go fucking listen to it,
Thanks,
everybody.
Tom. It's
But
not out yet, but it'll be out on September 4th.
but so when and I'm in the supermarket, and when somebody's got the fucking nose hanging out of the mask, and they get too and I'll be there, and someone gets too close to me, and I want to say something, and you're on the Facebook and you're saying some shit, and I notice you don't even have a personal Facebook page up anymore, which is probably the wisest decision for I should do that for my mental health,
I did it in 2015, and it is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. But so when somebody gets too close to me and they have their nails out, I've done it about 8, 9 times now, usually in supermarkets, because that's where you have to go. And I just say, I look them right in the eye without anger, without malice, just like as friendly as you can, like this, and I say, I can tell you exactly what it's like to be on a ventilator.
Wow, yeah.
Stops people dead in their tracks.
Wow,
they don't know what to
dude.
say. They just kind of look. And
Yeah.
then I start to tell them the first thing is you don't know if you're ever going to wake up again. And when you do wake up, it's to them pulling the tube out of your throat. And then usually they're like, yeah. Oh, gotcha. Every single time. It's 7 times people have been like, gotcha. And one time a woman ran away like, I can't hear that. But it's fucking worked every time. But I tell you, most of the times people are like, yeah, man, yeah, dude, yeah, oh, that's legit. And it fucking is. I mean, I didn't have COVID. That's not why I was on a ventilator. I don't have to share that information to get my point across. But yeah. It is.
That's really interesting, because what that is you being a member of society and connecting in a way that is connective and communal. You're not preaching at anybody. You're saying, hey, I'm here, you're here, this is the deal.
Yeah.
And this book, there was a great article in Rolling Stone that was very critical of our country in this moment, and I really appreciated it. I thought it was a great article, and one of the things that it talks about is we are suffering the consequences of decades of a focus on individualism over society and the community.
Wow.
And not that individualism is bad. Individualism is rad. But that doesn't mean that you can sacrifice your fellow human beings for your own rugged individualism. Like we've actually lost the concept of that we impact each other. And it makes sense that we would be struggling so much with this, because it's not how it works, man. I want to ride my motorcycle through South Dakota and do the rally like I always do, and we're not wearing any masks.
It's interesting where folks choose to draw their line.
Yeah.
Like, why would you draw the line, or not draw the line, or draw however you want to look at it there? It's like, even I don't want to say even their president, but all right, even the president of the United States said it's pay. I don't want to get into the whole thing, but I'm saying within weeks, the president of the United States took to the camera and said it is patriotic to wear a mask.
Yeah, which is, even in and of itself, it's not even about patriotism. It's just wear a mask because we're having a pandemic.
Right. But it's almost like I can tell that's code for go to this rally without the mask.
It makes me so sad. I mean, it really makes me worry about our species. We're a real silly little species, but it's like other countries seem to have done a better job of understanding that they impact one another than we did. So it's not just our species. The propaganda that we have been fed, and our rock and roll songs have affected us in a certain way, that the Danish rock and roll songs have affected them in a different way. I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do. I didn't want to get like, political, and it's like I know we're probably preaching to the choir here, but I do think it's right out of this is the guy on top is just someone who divides. It's how he won. It's brilliant. I'm not even saying that bastard. I could, but I'm not trying to make that point. What I'm saying is that is how he works. That is the way he's worked. I mean, he made a show called "You're Fired" or whatever.
There were so many factors in that moment.
And my son will tell me why the entire system's broken. And
I was going to ask
he's
that.
top of it, but
You're exposed to that perspective, the 18, right? Or 19 or something, or 17.
mm-hmm.
How are those guys doing?
It's hard to say because my son, I'm sure everybody thinks their kid is a unique individual, but he really is. Like, he told school last year before COVID to go fuck itself. He's a senior and he's like, fuck it. I don't give a shit. I don't want to graduate. I don't want to go to this school anymore because it's the same way you wouldn't want to be part of the corruption that is in government. He didn't want to be part of what he saw as corruption within his school. And
Wow.
he loved the teachers he loved, and he just didn't have it for any of the teachers. He didn't, he's like almost like respect is earned. It's like this, one guy first day in class was like, I'm not your friend. Don't say hi to me in public and don't raise your hand during class. And then I'm here to just give you everything and never look the kids in the eye. And he was like, I don't want to be like that guy. I want to learn from that guy.
Right. Man, yeah, that's education. I mean,
and that being said, he studies and he researches and he pays attention and he's sharp and he works. Right now he's actually working because he was one of my sound engineers and hospitality staff of the concert series at the Burren, but the concert series is shut down. So he got a job just ground level at the Burn, just working the door, taking COVID information and taking contact tracing information, wearing a mask. He's got the sanitizer stand next to him. So he's working his ass off. And he's got work ethic all day, right. Whether it be like, I'm done with that. Can I fucking do that? Or whether it be trying to wrap his brain around situations. But he's very much like, for a long time, and he might still think this way. He don't even want to vote for Joe Biden. And you say like, but it's he's like the lesser of two evils. It doesn't work for me. He's like, I was a Bernie guy and Bernie got his legs taken out and by the same people who put Biden in. So why should I give a shit or not if this establishment burns to the ground? I'm ready. It seems like the quickest point to something reasonable, even if maybe like, in other words, his point is, yeah, it's easy to be an anarchist when you're 18 years old. But his point is kind of like you'd probably get to the enlightened part quicker with World War III than you will through this current system.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Call me a man in his 40s, but I think there is something to be said for. It's like we live within the structure of a binary system right now. So you have to acknowledge that reality and then go from there. But without making a choice here's one thing we know for a fact. This is the last leader from that generation.
Oh.
This, either way.
Isn't that nice to think?
Yeah, and it's like with all love and due respect to everything that generation's about and everything that they have given us one way or another, it's like it is the last leader from that generation. There will never be another leader from that generation.
Theoretically, it's the last guy who can really get away with with all the shit he's gotten away with, just the social things and
it's and really like your son and then people that are our age and anywhere in the range of that are not that generation, that is who should be in charge right now, because they are inheriting the earth for the next 50 years. So it's
right.
like, it's just, that leadership needs to turn over because you just have a totally different perspective.
And they are a part of the information age, something that like really wasn't a thing years ago. Like
Yeah.
I was not turned on to anything, and I'm just again speaking from my point of view. 9/11 opened up my eyes to like, wait, how does the fucking presidency work? Like I didn't pay attention in high school. I didn't give a fuck. Like I didn't. I was like a flaky musician who just wanted to play music and hang out. I really wasn't. And maybe on paper I was like, buck the system, but I didn't really know what the system was.
Right.
But these kids fucking know. They know. They're the ones saying, they're the ones fact checking.
They've been forced to be, I mean, dude, like in the 90s and the 80s, we didn't have to. They've been forced to be political and be aware of these things because there's no rain anymore in California sometimes. Like there's huge things that need to. Should we play music? What was that?
Request. I wanted to throw it up there because I didn't want. I did say I put a thing up saying ask your questions, and then I haven't posted any of them. But Jake was
really, honestly, I love talking, but I should just shut up because I do love talking. But the thing about music that's so cool is you can put the ideas and the thoughts and the feelings in a song, and you can take the time to write them how you want to write them, and then you just express that, But like off the cuff like this, I don't want to. I want to be as eloquent as possible.
What you said earlier about missing going town to town in the routine and the cycle and the circle of playing shows.
Yeah.
I think, in all honesty, John, this podcast idea is to fill that void for me. I miss going to shows. I miss seeing you once a year. Usually like October, or even every 2 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I miss this. I miss this dearly, and I miss this conversation, and I miss the after hang after a show. I miss it all. So I hope that this filled a little bit of that void for you tonight. I've really been looking forward to this one.
I love it. I mean, it makes me feel a little, it's like both good, but it's also sad because you're so far away, and that, like, having a hamburger.
Yeah.
Oh. Having a hamburger and like hanging out with you and doing the thing, and it seems like it's very far away.
Yeah, man. Well, it's we have this. In 1918, they didn't have this.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I don't want to deny the Jake's request, but I wanted to play this new one if I could.
My guess is Jake, Kathy Sands-Bomer was throwing stuff out there too.
That one, the one that she asked for, is an Anthony DaCosta song that I would have to practice learning to play that again. I can't do that one.
I imagine they would all be ecstatic with whatever.
No offense, Kathy. I love that song, but I can't. I don't know it anymore.
Well, I would request Ned. So there you go. I think they'd be happier with.
Well, that's what I want to play, Tom. So not Ned, but I want to play. So you know how, in addition to the information age, you know how Ned was on "It Doesn't Matter Why It Is, It Doesn't Matter If It's Wrong," like EP album, which is reviewed on iTunes as one of the worst music someone's ever heard.
Really?
It's great. Awesome. I love it.
What a badge.
I know. I love it. It's like it was $3 and the guy just flipped out. But so ever since then, I have done this thing where like every 4 years I put out an "It Doesn't Matter" album. Like, oh yeah, no, it's a good idea, but I don't know it.
That's all right.
Anyway, so this is the fourth one: 2008, 2012, 2016, and now 2020. So I'm gonna put this out at like sometime in October, and it's like it's like my weird whatever thing, and this song is on there, so I want to play this song.
Hey, before I don't get a chance to ask you, can I ask you a question? On the new record, I think it's the one about flags, or
Yeah,
again, I
flags
made.
transform.
Are you quoting either Stars and Bars? Are you taking a little bit of a couple of lyrics from Stars and Bars or Ned or one or the other and throwing it into one of the new songs? Which that's something I do with my own lyrics. I'll take a lyric from an old song and put it in a new song, almost like my own created self nostalgia. And Timmy Lewandowski makes fun of me for doing that. The band hates it. They're like, "Why are you doing that?" I started a song with "Hey Hey Baby," and then I started another song with "Hey Hey Baby," and they were like, "Why are you doing that?" And now I have 5 of them. You know, but
I'm trying to think, but I don't think so.
it's because I thought you were going into Stars and Bars on the new record. It was, which is another. I mean, that's epic, epic fucking
Man,
tune.
there's so many friends here on these notes. This is so cool to see everybody. Kathy, I know it's Bamer. Okay,
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
do
That was directed at me.
so
I'm the
many,
one.
dude, there's so many rad people out there, man. I miss all you guys. We're so far away. I'm never gonna see you again. I'm probably never gonna see you again.
That's not true.
I'm not
Man.
flying out there, dude.
Would you get on a bike? Would you come this far?
Yes, yes. Partly what I've been thinking is that's the way it's gonna be.
I tell you, I'm ready to start like hey, Timmy's watching.
I know. Hey, Tim.
I'm ready to start working out and buying myself a real bike so I can be like your fucking road manager on this tour. Is anybody going to go with you? Is anyone going to follow you in a car or any of that bullshit?
I had people last year or this year telling me that they were gonna come along, and then it just kind of unraveled. But yeah, open invitation, man.
Dude, telling you.
So wait, can I just say this about Ned? On that "It Doesn't Matter" album, there is a prequel to Ned that I'm really, 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 really excited about.
Wow.
It's even longer, I think, and it tells you the story of how Ned came to be Ned.
Oh man. Oh, that's the rock opera.
Okay, let me play you this song that it was inspired by that Evicted book.
I'm going to spotlight you, John, but I'm still here.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna try. I guess I'll put that down. Let's see. I always play this too fast. Hang on. Grab your toys, kids, and grab some clothes. We gotta go. We gotta go. Maybe to the shelter, maybe to my mom's. I don't know. I don't know. Man at the front door, armed for a war. A platoon of men in a moving van. Grab what you can, leave the rest behind. We're getting evicted. We're getting evicted. You're gonna have to change schools again and find new friends. We'll make do, we'll make do. I couldn't pay the gas bill, couldn't pay for heat. Now our life is on the street, our life is on the street. The place was a dump, the pipes were clogged and stuck. I slaved for my pay just to give it all up. Landlord shows up in her fancy truck. We're getting evicted. We're getting evicted. Now my kids are hungry and my kids are cold. I can't sleep, I can't sleep. Seen 70 places full of cracks and mold. Denied each time, denied each time. Man at the last place dangles the key. He says maybe we can have it if he can have me.
Clap, 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 clap. Evicted.
Yeah. I kind of
Yeah.
want to play the intro to the new Ned song. Can I do that? I haven't played this for anyone. But since you
Yeah.
mentioned it,
You do whatever you want, man. You do whatever you want.
let me try that. What time is it? Oh, God,
I,
we're long.
I don't care.
We're going long.
Uh,
Man, this is a long time. Okay.
how's that for a comment? You seeing that one?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the beauty of being an independent artist. You just get to go through all kinds of phases.
I am waiting for the movie. Dude, I want to write a screenplay. I haven't done it yet. I want to start writing screenplays. It's on my to-do list. I want to write the movie of what's the name, if you haven't already, because it's your fucking movie. What's the name of your character? Who came
Vaughn
out?
Rhodes.
Vaughn Rhodes.
Oh man, I love Vaughn. I haven't heard from him in a long time.
Well, I wonder what he's doing in isolation.
He's up in his granddad's land, man. He's up in Montana, and he was running this songwriter series that he was doing on like Monday nights up there at Finnegan's Pub, and yeah, that shut down.
Now, you think Vaughn is going to Sturgis this weekend?
No, that's not his thing.
It's not his thing?
That's not his thing.
What, do you think he might have gotten a gig on a side stage or something?
Maybe. I mean, honestly, Tom, like the last time I talked to him, he was feeling kind of bummed out on the whole thing. I think he's kind of like enjoying fishing and being up in this cabin, you know.
Well, I hope he's getting ready to tour again, because he put on a hell of a show.
Thanks,
at
dude.
the Burn.
I forgot that he played there. Yeah. I love Vaughn. He's great.
Yeah.
Let me try this.
All right.
Okay, I'm just gonna do a little bit. This because I'm not gonna do the whole thing. But it goes. Is that right? Let's see. Maybe it's. We are okay. This is the prequel to Ned. This is called I think it's called How Ned Came to the Mohawk Valley or something like that. So on the Ned song that you guys know, some of you know, 3 of you know, is like in the future, and this is the prequel. So it goes, we are who we were, we grow and we learn. Oh no, it's in 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is I should have practiced. We are who we were. I'll do it in 3/4. We are who we were. We grow and we learn. We learn and evolve and transform. We are who we were. We grow and we learn. We learn and evolve and transform. So who was Ned before? Who was Ned before? Before he moved to the Mohawk Valley. He was born in the 50s, grew up in the 60s, came out in 78. He was a product of privilege and a product of wealth. He was poised to be rich and be great. He got his degrees from universities in finance and business galore. He moved to New York and got a job at the top of a tower, cocked to the core. As the 80s began, he was hungry and able. He invested impressive amounts. His bosses were pleased. He fudged all his fees. He believed a man's worth is what counts. And so it was, and so it went, for 20 plus odd years. Ned the hard-ass banker man, Ned the stressed out suit, the downtown dweller. So that's a little tease there of the prequel.
Wow.
So he was what? He was in finance in New York in
Yeah,
the '80s.
he's
No one
had some
saw that coming.
money. He was destined to just.
Oh, I miss playing music, dude. This sucks. This thing sucks.
Have you done any online shows, any concerts?
Yeah, I did them. I did a bunch in the spring, and I'm gonna do them starting again in a couple weeks. I think I'm gonna do Sunday brunch,
Mm.
which will be late lunch for you guys, but
Hmm.
I like
And
the daytime.
any go out to a place and do a gig at all, or just like
No, but I mean, there's none. They're not doing it out here. But I told you, I got this battery powered PA.
Oh, right. This
I'm
is
gonna
before
put it on the bike. I'm gonna try going to like parks and stuff and setting up my thing
right.
and just playing for who's there.
Yeah, busking. I've been playing every Thursday night the last bunch of weeks just to keep my own chops up and keep myself sane. And I call it back to busking.
Back to busking, yeah.
Bust.
Dude, it
Back-
feels so good in your heart to sing. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And to know that like at least one person is watching or listening.
Yeah.
It sounds so dumb, but like really that is the whole point, is that you're expressing something and exchanging it with someone else. And then that's all you ask. And then that goes away and that moment has happened, you know?
It's a very strange roller coaster, this COVID online shows thing, because in the beginning, and I have this concert series and I've been putting on shows now for 5 years straight. And the business, like if it, 5 years they say is the number. If it grows and grows and grows, you're on the right track and that's it. And if it's not doing its thing after 5 years, it's time to move on to something else. That's kind of what I've heard in my experiences as far as business is going. And it was great. I started off with a night or two a week, and all of a sudden I was doing 3 shows on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, booking shows every night of the week, branching onto other clubs. It was doing great. And all of a sudden it fell through. So like immediately you start like, how can we do a show online? Even before we realized it was going to be this long. And every artist in the world puts up donation links, and people have been wonderful.
Yeah.
People have been, they've really all along to this day, the whole 5 months, people have been wonderful. But in the beginning, money's rolling in. It's like, oh my God, it's like, people really care. They miss the live music. And I did a couple of shows with other people. I did a couple of shows with myself, and it's like, we can do this. We can make it through this. And this is not a knock on anybody, absolutely at all. It's just, you can only do so much of this shit. You can only inundate people with this type of thing. Like, if you're on tour, you can play 7 days a week.
I know.
And if you're booking a variety of shows, you can book shows 7 days a week. But like, so eventually you start. So when it comes to me playing personally, I play every single night at Toad on Thursdays, and we have a great crowd, and it's a rotating crowd.
You guys still do that?
Oh yeah, this March was set to be our 11th year anniversary.
No, I know that, but you're not doing it now, right?
Oh no.
Yeah, okay.
But so in the beginning of COVID, I started doing it, and then I was like, this feels fucking stupid. I'm not doing it anymore. It was starting to anger me, and that's when I know I have to stop doing something.
Yeah.
That's when I stopped busking. That's when I stopped doing my open mic, when I was doing it and pissed off.
Yeah, right.
You mentioned your depression, right? That's I have serious anger fucking problems. I always have, and I always do, and I have to the same way anybody has. I don't know if anyone is worse or better. I only know what I experience. Again, I had a fucking stroke. I probably popped a fucking blood vessel. So like, it started to just be like, what the fuck? And it's some level of depression or anger or hopelessness, So I stopped doing it. because it's just like, you watch the numbers go from, whoa, 200 people are watching me. The next week, wow, 110 people are watching me. The next week, oh, 20 people are watching me. The next week, it's like, oh, it's my buddy Steve and Isaac and a couple of guys from the band are watching me. And it's like, it was so fucking depressing in the beginning, But then I moved, like we were talking about earlier, and now I'm set back up at the office, and I decided, like what you said, I decided I'm doing this every week because I'm past that emotion, and it's now become the catharsis that gigging every week was for me. Like, and that catharsis is an important word, because when you're singing, and this is why you miss it, this is a part of why you miss it, and I speak to anybody, is because when you're on stage, when you're doing this, it's all out. You're out. I mean, sure, you're listening and you're reacting. All output.
Yeah.
Everything's going out, and it's a cleansing. It's a catharsis. It's a cleansing of that soul, and then it enables you to take more stuff in and process it. So,
dude, that's all part of it too. It's like, it's not just that you are expressing, and you're also like gathering experiences from being in those environments and seeing and also just for your own thing, it's like what songs connect with people, when they connect with people, and all that. It's like, it's nice when the emojis burst up on the live stream, but it's not the same as. I do want to say one thing though, man. Like, this may be a good place to leave it. Is like, I get the numbers. Lord knows, in the age of the internet, I understand the numbers. I mean, when I started doing it, it was MySpace numbers. You wanted to have the MySpace numbers, and they're never high enough, whatever they are. If they're 200, they could be 300. If they're 5, they could be 8, But like, I think it's really important to continue to remember that it really, like, one person in, like, sharing your soul or sharing your music or your song with one person, each person is like a universe of experience. So just one exchange can ripple in ways that you cannot even comprehend. Obviously, we want it to be bigger. I mean, obviously, you want. I don't. But that's actually a good question. Do you? I mean, why do you want that? Just because you want to make more ripples? That's why. Because you want to, like, have it bounce around more, and that feels like that is going to matter more. And then when you die and someone goes to your David Glazer album, there's more people to listen. I don't know, maybe that's even petty, but really, I think it's important to remember that. I have to tell myself that all the time, because I get down about it. I mean, dude, I get down about it.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I did get down about it in late March. I was like, what the fuck, And I needed a little bit, just the same way you might get off of Facebook for a little while. I needed a little bit of time off, and now I appreciate it again. I appreciate playing, and I appreciate the communication. And in the beginning, it was like figuring out the thing and what the hell. And I'm watching my bank account go waff. First time in my life, I'm actually busy enough with concert promoting that I'm making a little bit of money. I'm not like,
I know you built that. You really built that thing up, Tom. It was really cool.
It almost killed me. I worked my ass off on that thing. It almost freaking killed me, I got to drop this comment in there. What a nice thing to say.
Go. Oh man, awesome.
But life is a constant struggle of
awesome,
staying positive and doing
that's
it for
awesome,
the right.
Man.
Yeah, and you're always going to go down. You're always going to be depressed. You're always going to feel terrible, and then you're going to come back. It's a constant.
Yeah, the good thing about being down is that the next thing you're going to feel is up.
Yeah.
If you're good, it's only going to go down. I want to. Megan's mentioning the MySpace thing. I want to I want to hold on to that for 1 second, because it's like, yeah, that's real, man. There was a time when, like, your MySpace plays is how you got the gig.
Right.
It's like that was your prestige, and now it's Spotify followers maybe, or whatever, or who's on the live stream. It's like, if you focus on that stuff, you're going to go insane. You really are. I mean,
yes,
you really are. If you focus on what Neil just said, like, that's rad, dude.
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
That's awesome.
Huge. Yeah, that's huge. It's easy to get lost.
Control. You don't have control over certain things. I mean, yeah, but obviously, I don't know. It's you've been in the music business for 30 years.
I remember when Vaughn was only 40 or 50 years old.
Well, tell me, put it down. How old were you? Or no, how about this? What year was it when you played your first gig?
I mean, does high school count?
Yeah, this counts. Yeah, your first gig. The was your actually no. Let's say it's your music. It's not covers.
So like church doesn't count,
Church doesn't
obviously.
count. No, church doesn't count.
It's still high school because I was
Be
doing.
with me, Lord,
Yeah.
when I am in trouble. Church does not count.
Yeah, I guess 87, and I graduated high school 88.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Think.
87, dude.
87.
Yeah, 33 years.
Yeah, long time, man.
Think about forget about the numbers on the Facebook stream.
I
Think
made
about
$100.
how many- Yeah, dude, that's rad. Yeah, right, exactly. Oh my God.
There was a $5 cover, and I made $100.
Think about the Facebook stream. Like, think about how many people you have sung your songs to and impacted in one way. You know, it's even a dude when you're busking at the tea and some guy is like some business guy gives you a smile, or you give him a smile because he's bummed out about whatever. That's all. I mean, really.
This busking was especially in the subway because there's so much turnover. Busking, I learned all the most important lessons about performing in my entire life, and a little bit of Kerrville as far as really just throwing it out there with reckless abandon. But but busking, man, exactly. There was times where a woman would be sitting there with headphones like this against a pole and not paying attention to you. And in your head, you're sitting there like, oh fuck, that she could ignore me from fucking anywhere. There's like 400 feet of platform to ignore me,
Right.
and she got to do it right fucking in front of me, you know. And then the train comes and she drops a 5, and she's like,
Yep.
I love that song, Take Me Away. And she gets on the
Yep.
train. I'm like,
I know, I love that. It's always the person that you see in the crowd that you're like, why does that person hate me? Why are they not listening to me? That's the person that you're making that comes up to you afterwards.
and a million
So
other
funny.
stories,
Yeah.
you know, a million other examples. And the same thing goes with performing on stage, especially in like when you're up and coming, the environment's like the Burn, what it used to be when it was an open door, pass the hat kind of gig. And you got all kinds of crazy people coming in and out, and like, you know, a fucking hodgepodge of fucking hooligans, just like, who the fuck's this guy? And like,
I want to tell you, I want to say something about that. The time that I did the, not at the Burn, the Lizard Lounge, the open mic night, and there was a guy that night with a jaw harp that did Taking Care of Business, and I loved it. And
might be watching.
Okay, well, I loved it. I mean, I really legitimately loved it. I put it in one of my podcasts. Like, I was like, this rocks. And afterwards, you're like, yeah, he does that every week.
I think I think he moved on to other songs. It's been a while now, but yeah.
So that's a perfect example. Like, whatever led him to that performance, right? That performance that night for me gave me joy.
Yeah.
It like rearranged my cells. And dude, I mean, if he's listening, what's his name?
If we're talking about, it might be Steve Warren.
Maybe, yeah, that might be right.
It sounds like him, but also that he did
Every day I'm taking care of business.
Yeah,
it's so mine. I've listened to that recording.
I'm sure that was him, yeah.
I've listened to that recording so much because I put it on my little podcast thing, and he does the groove afterwards. Like, he had no idea that night that was going to be the thing that was going to connect with me, and then I was going to carry that. Or like you said, I had no idea that when the dog barked and I was like, don't worry about the dog, that was going to be a thing that connected with you.
Moment.
Yeah, so whatever. All right, let's stop. That's way too long. An hour and 43 minutes?
We could go all night, man.
I know we could. I wanted to say I love you to all these friends in the chat over here. Man, yeah. I really miss you guys.
We miss you too. I was thinking, on that note of one person at a time, I'm half sarcastically mad at Jon Stewart, and I'm mad at 2020 and COVID, because I honestly think if he had stayed on the air and or you got a chance to take that bike ride across that part of the country, I think if you got to that one person in every show, like you could sway the world. I think the Freedom Tour, and it's important that you do it even if it's post this
Oh, yo,
election.
for sure. I did, dude. This election is a symptom of all kinds of stuff. It's
Yeah,
not, fortunately or unfortunately, it's not going away. So I will definitely do it, and I can't wait to do it. But
but I
I just want to say, like, my aspirations are not. I mean, I appreciate that, but that's really not. It's more about like an attempt to understand. It's like an
mm,
expedition.
well, I
What's it
just feel
like
like
to live in rural North Dakota?
mm,
What is it like? I mean, you're certainly not biking everywhere. I can sit here and be like, I like to bike all I want, but like those guys are in Dodge Rams that say Bighorn on them, and they,
yeah,
I think, but
truck
I'm making
nuts.
that up. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
they all bike. I don't know.
yeah. I just I feel like it would what you would accomplish would be like a juxtaposed to like Bill Maher's Religulous, where he just makes fun of people for
Right?
their
Yeah,
religion,
he's not great at the
and
the.
the
Yeah.
I you know I and like
Well,
the
actually, no. I mean, don't go away from that too quickly. He's a perfect example of someone who very snidely owns his point of view
mm,
and puts it out there on everybody. And whether you agree with him or disagree with him,
right.
do we need that? I mean,
Right.
it's
Sometimes you
like,
agree, sometimes you disagree, but it's always snide and
I don't
it's
know if we
always
need that right
demeaning.
now.
Right. It's like insult comedy or something like that. And I don't know. It's so weird. Yeah, yeah. I mean that can go so but like in these late night shows that go to the Trump rally and point out I mean, ignorance of somebody who doesn't understand that they're actually getting Obamacare. Down with Obamacare, and you talk to them for 2 minutes, you realize they're on Obamacare and that they
Mm.
haven't had health insurance until the Obamacare kicked in. It's like, what are you?
Well,
But
I'll
I
tell you
just,
though, one of the guys I talked to when I started to put this out there, it was out there a little bit, some of my gigs last year. A guy came up to me and he was an example of someone who was in the middle income, and Obamacare really messed with his health
yeah,
insurance. He
mm,
lost his doctor, his premiums went up. And so you just look at that one individual.
it,
It's complicated, man. Social media is not helping us in this. And
mm,
these like Facebook posts are not helping us in this because it's so complicated how we organize ourselves.
mm.
It's just not going to be, it's not going to be tweetable. The revolution will not be tweeted.
Yeah,
It will not be tweeted.
yeah, man, you getting rid of that account. That's a good thing, man.
I lucked out. I mean, I did it for exactly the reason you said. I just wanted to kind of like have some cleanliness around that part of my mind. And it happened right before all that 2016 stuff went down, and everyone was just
Right.
garbage dumped into their brains. And you know
If you
what?
don't
You
mind
know,
me,
but you want? Can I say something? I'll tell you the negative of it. The negative of it is thousands of people that I met traveling around, I lost touch with.
right.
And you can't connect in the same way from your page that you can from a thing, from a personal page. And there have been times when I've thought, there's been some when it's been like actually really legitimately logistics. I'm like, I knew there was a guy that I knew in Nebraska that did gigs, and I don't, gone, don't have it anymore. But
Yeah.
but then there's also just times like really awesome, wonderful people that I met just personally, and those connections are gone. So there is a way to connect through those.
Do you try to do you like do Instagram because it's all pictures and you don't have to worry about the whole bullshit aspect of it, or are you just off of it as
I think
much as you possibly
Instagram
can be?
actually is Instagram is almost worse because of the pictures. It's like everybody presenting their pictorial billboard of success, you know.
Huh. or happiness.
I mean, I'm not. I'm on all. I'm on. I have a Facebook page, but I just try to interact with it as a business or as like a as a way, as a means of sharing what I'm creating, as opposed to that just seems to work better for me.
Yeah, I always say, if I wasn't a concert promoter, I would get off of this Facebook and buy a flip phone. But maybe I'm just fucking lying to myself.
Well, it's not that, but it's that there are also ways in which these tools are really helpful.
Huh.
Like today, I mean, I'm sure there's at least one person that watched this only because they saw it on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's a great thing. I mean, fucking Facebook Live, when I was doing the live streams, and I'm going to do them again, was a source of income.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, what am I talking about? It's just that it's complicated. It's complicated. There's more to it all. I'm going to stop myself, Tom. I'm just going to keep talking. I'm going to stop. I'm going on vacation. I'm going camping.
Are you going tomorrow?
Yeah, early in the morning.
Like tent, you got everything. Where are you going? Tell me where you're going, man.
Somewhere in the Sierras. So like that's the mountain range out here, and try to avoid like the bigger. My trick is that you go for places that don't allow RVs,
right?
Because that'll keep you somewhat a little like away from the crowds a little bit. Not that's even before the virus. It's like
kids are a bad thing, but kids like the noise, the racket a little bit. You know, like families in RVs will have the kids and
the generators.
Yeah.
That's a good. No hate on RVs, but that's a pretty funny talking about the species. It's like, well, I like to bring my living room and my toilet and everything, but I'll bring it to the trees. But I still like my couch and my whole. But that's judgment. I don't mean to be judgmental. It's like everybody
got to be a little, you know.
Everybody's got to do their own thing, but man, if your truck does not fit in a garage, it's too big. It's too big. It's too big, man. Unless you are using it for commercial use. Okay, that's enough. I love you, man.
Look at that gorgeous head of hair on you.
You're
a beautiful man. You're a beautiful man. I miss talking to you. Let me wrap it up properly. Don't just hit.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to wrap it up and stay on so I can say a proper goodbye to you.
Okay.
But I've been putting this up all night, and the new record is coming out on February. Me, face, make noise, talk.
That was great.
There it is. I'm really self-conscious about it. I've been saying that all my life when I think me, face, to make noise. I've been saying that, and now the first few times I said it after I got out of the hospital, people are like,
oh, funny. Oh, yeah. I've heard you make that joke. Yeah, you got to be careful.
New record's coming out.
Wait, I got to tell you one thing.
Shoot, man.
About the stroke. This is just my favorite stroke story I've ever heard. Do you know Steve Poltz?
I think so. It's familiar.
He also suffered, I think that it was a stroke or some sort of a similar affliction. And I was talking to him afterwards, and he said, what was the craziest thing is that after the stroke, like I was in the car and I heard the Grateful Dead. And I suddenly got it. Like I suddenly liked the Grateful Dead. It killed me. Well, sure, maybe they get the neurons so that you like the Grateful Dead. I love that.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Hey, man, that's the drugs made me like it didn't make me like the Grateful Dead, but I was like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. That's a true story. Oh, man. The new record's coming out. I have been listening to it all day and all week. All week I've been piecing it together, and I've been listening to it all day. I think I listened to it probably 3 times and a couple songs more than that. And let me tell you, it's phenomenal. It's really it's every record, they say, if you're doing it right, is just some accumulation of all the other records except unique and better than that because of the progress. And this is
wow.
It's just, this record is amazing. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to the record hitting the world because I feel like it's important. I feel like the way you look at situations in the world, I feel like you could change folks for the better. I feel like you can open up eyes. I know I'm preaching to the choir out there, but like there are folks who want to turn a blind eye to things like the kids in cages. And I feel like it's not that you're saying kids in cages are bad, but it's the way you deliver the message. It's just like, there's so much empathy in it, and it's just amazing. I'm really looking forward to the impact that this record will make on people in the world, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and talking with you. But definitely seeing you here in Boston, and maybe one of these days I'll get my ass out of Boston and actually travel somewhere and see you.
Dude, I got a couch. But I want to. I really appreciate you saying that. It's challenging because it makes me think like, what is the intention, you know? But I think the intention is just to share.
And the intention is, I would say, is is art from the heart, and you really have crushed that for as long as I've known you. And I really appreciate all the music and the point of view and the inspiration. No shit, man. I'm blowing smoke up you all night, but now you were a big part of me buying computer gear and producing records, and I produced a lot of records and put a lot of music out there for other folks. You know, it's I took with it, you know, what the inspiration and with for what it was, and I made a lot of records for a lot of people and started recording every one of those open mics for people. That's how I got my start in mixing. I just recorded every single open mic and made a few bucks. I would offer, hey, give me $20 and I'll mix down your songs for you. And which is
I love art from the heart too, Kathy. That's great. You got art from the heart. You got to what do you call trademark that? That's great.
Hat from the hat, kid.
Hat from the hat.
Yeah, that's how we say it out here.
Oh, I miss you guys.
Hey, I'm gonna take you off the camera and stay on just 1 second. Okay. And I don't know. I'm gonna pretend. Bear with me as I practice how to produce this thing a little tighter.
You're doing great. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, any last words, John, before I kick you out here?
No, thanks for, 2 hours.
Yeah, we've been out for a long time, man.
Trust the music, not the man. Thank you for listening. I love seeing all these friends. I miss you guys. Be safe, and we'll see what happens.
John, I can't thank you enough. Thank you, man.
Okay, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Live Stream of Consciousness. My guest tonight was John Elliott, and I'm going to listen to that one back again. It's going to be on the webs for a little while, so you can go back to. I just got my own YouTube URL today. Literally, it's youtube.com/24-hour concerts. That's pretty fucking cool. And yeah, I'm just going producing and playing things, and here comes John's music here, and this is how we're going to fade out. I think you can hear this. I'm not even quite sure if you can hear it or not, but there it is. This is just a little bit of John's new record, and it ain't going to be much, but you can get the whole thing on September 4th. Man, next week is Jennifer Truesdale, who's a local singer-songwriter, music teacher, performer. She's just a rock star. She's got all the energy in the world. She's been putting on, along with other folks together, she's been putting on a thing called Chick Singer Night here in Boston for years, inspiring women of all ages to get up on stage and rock out. Jennifer is the real deal, and I miss her dearly. I'm used to seeing her a lot out there in the world, all our local venues, and I think that's why I'm doing this freaking podcast, man. I miss John tremendously, and it was great to catch up with him tonight and goof off. I should just do this just in case anybody else is still watching. I didn't use this picture of John. And I forgot to use this picture of John, which is my freaking favorite. This is amazing. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. All right. Did I forget anything else? Nah, I think that's about it. Donate if you can, and glad you enjoyed either way. Ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. I'll see you next week. Be good. Since the dawn of man and woman, sweet women make it all